Me two time. And I pay me to you. I said me two time. And I pay me to you. Me is our sister soldier. Don't forget that I told you. Me is a whiz at these computer games. She breaks down how to do all kinds of things. Me is the perfect tutor when you need help with your computer. Stop by and give her knowledge a try. She can hook you up with a one-on-one to get the job done.
Welcome back. And before we move forward, I want you to really hear this. Not rush past it, not minimize it, not treat it like a motivational line. If you are here on day 10, you are already operating differently than most people. Not better, not superior, different. Because most people consume growth content the way they consume entertainment. They dip in, they feel something, and they disappear. You didn't do that. You stayed long enough for repetition to start shaping your thinking. You stayed long enough for discomfort to show up. You stayed long enough for the excitement to wear off and the work to begin. And that tells me something important about you. You're not chasing a feeling anymore. You're building a direction. Day 10 is not about motivation. It's about ownership. Ownership of your pace. Ownership of your standards. Ownership of what happens after the structure ends. So let's slow this down and do this properly. First interaction, ground the room. Before we talk about what's next, I want you present. In the chat or just to yourself, answer this honestly. How does it feel to have stayed through all 10 days? Not what you think it should feel like, what it actually feels like. Some of you feel proud. Some of you feel calm. Some of you feel unsure. Some of you feel pressure. All of that is valid. Because finishing something meaningful rarely comes with fireworks. It usually comes with quiet clarity. Let me say something plainly. Day 10 is not the moment where you suddenly feel like a real creator. That idea, that confidence comes first, is backwards. Confidence is not the starting point. Confidence is the side effect of consistency. What you've actually been building over these 10 days is something deeper than confidence. You've been building self-trust. And self-trust doesn't sound loud. It sounds like this. I said I would show up, and I did. I didn't quit when it got boring. I didn't restart just because doubt showed up. That's not hype. That's maturity. Let's talk about what usually happens after a series like this. This is where a lot of creators quietly lose momentum. The structure ends. The daily prompt disappears. Nobody is guiding the next step. And suddenly the question creeps back in. What should I do now? That question is dangerous, not because it's wrong, but because it puts you back into decision fatigue. So today, we're not asking what's next in terms of output. We're deciding how you will move forward. There's a difference. Second interaction. Identity lock-in. I want you to complete this sentence. Type it in the chat if you're comfortable, or say it out loud. After day 10, I am the kind of creator who goggle. Not who you want to be, who you are choosing to be. Examples: finishes what I start, moves even when it's quiet, creates without waiting for validation, builds at a pace I can sustain. This isn't affirmation, it's alignment, because identity reduces friction. When you know who you are, decisions get lighter. Here's the truth most creators don't hear. You do not need to scale right now. You don't need to post more. You don't need to add pressure. You don't need to level up aggressively. What you need is continuity. Because momentum doesn't come from intensity. It comes from unbroken motion. Let me explain. Most creators burn out not because they worked too hard, but because they kept restarting. Restarting resets momentum. Restarting drains energy. Restarting trains your brain to associate doubt with escape. Day 10 is where that cycle ends. Not because doubt disappears, but because you stop obeying it. Third interaction. Truth check. Answer yes or no, honestly. Have you ever abandoned progress not because it wasn't working, but because it stopped feeling exciting? If that's a yes, you're not broken, you're human. But now you know something important. Boredom is not failure. Boredom is often the doorway to compounding results. Let's talk about pace. This matters more than goals. I want you to imagine the next 90 days, not in a dramatic way, not in a new year, new me way, just realistically. Ask yourself, what pace could I maintain even when life gets busy? Not your best week, not your most motivated version, your real everyday self. That answer is your sustainability line. Anything above it leads to burnout. Anything below it leads to stagnation. Day 10 is about choosing the middle ground. Fourth interaction, anchor your pace. Type this in the chat or say it quietly. My sustainable pace is GARC. Examples: 1 video a week, 3 short posts, showing up imperfectly, creating before consuming. There is no right answer. The right answer is the one you can keep. Let's address something uncomfortable but necessary. At some point after today, motivation will dip again. Not because you're failing, because motivation is unreliable. What carries you forward is not how you feel, it's what you've removed friction around. Creators who last don't rely on energy. They rely on systems, simple systems, repeatable systems, forgiving systems, and most importantly, systems that don't collapse when life happens. Fifth interaction, system awareness. Answer this honestly. What usually stops you from creating? Is it overthinking, perfectionism, lack of time, emotional exhaustion? Just notice it, because awareness gives you leverage. And leverage is how creators stay consistent without burning out. Let's bring this home. Day 10 is not asking you to promise more. It's asking you to promise smarter. So here's the final exercise. I want you to choose one small, non-negotiable promise to yourself as a creator. Not a goal, a commitment. Something you can keep even on low energy days. Examples: I will not restart. I will continue. I will show up even when it's quiet. I will keep my pace honest. I will finish what I start. Say it. Type it. Write it down. This is not for the algorithm. This is for you. Closing this out. Slowly, intentionally. If this series made you think deeper, not just feel inspired, tap the like button. That tells me depth matters here. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Not because you're chasing motivation, but because you're choosing consistency. And hear this clearly before you go. You don't need permission to continue. You don't need perfect clarity. You don't need to wait for confidence. You already proved something important. You stayed. Now the work is quieter. The progress is subtler, but the foundation is stronger. This isn't the end of something. This is the moment you stop waiting to be led and start leading yourself. Keep moving. Keep honoring your pace. Keep choosing continuity. You're not starting over. You're continuing.
Me2 time. And I paid me to you. I said me2 time. And I paid me to you. Time. Me is our sister soldier. Don't forget that I told you. Me is a whiz at these computer games. She breaks down how to do all kinds of things. Me is the perfect tutor when you need help with your computer. Stop by and give her knowledge a try. She can hook you up with a one-on-one to get the job done.